Hello everyone, this is Ed Green and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about MIUI today. I'm going to talk to you about a recent Xiaomi phone I bought, show you the MIUI settings app, and then show you how you're going to want to disable one of the inbuilt Xiaomi apps, which will cause you to get a lot of spammy ad-related notifications. So I've been interested to try Xiaomi phones for a little while. I had seen that they offered fairly good value for money compared to some of the competition. The hardware specs looked kind of interesting, and it was a version of Android which I knew departed quite a long way from stock. So I was interested to see how it worked with TalkBack in particular. So towards the end of last year, I bought a Xiaomi 12T Pro. I've seen this described online as a flagship killer. So it's slightly better than mid-range, but it's not quite flagship. It does cut some hardware corners, and I'll talk to you a little bit about the phone now. So performance-wise, it's very good. It's got the Snapdragon 8 Plus 1 processor, so nice, fast processor. Has 120 watt charging, which I really like. It charges in under half an hour to 100%, which I think is pretty amazing. And it has a 200 megapixel main lens camera. So some nice things to like about the hardware. It's a big phone, sort of 6.7, 6.8 inch screen, something like that. So if you like your big phones, you're in luck here. Where it cuts compromises on the hardware, it's got a plastic frame. It doesn't use Gorilla Glass Victus, it's using Gorilla Glass 5, and it has a very low IP rating, meaning that it's splash resistant only. So don't go dropping it in a litre of water for half an hour, it's not going to do very well. But if you're not bothered about that, then it does have some nice performance. It performs really well, very fast. I have a Sony Xperia 1 3 as well, and it's faster than that. I don't know. That's something I like about the Sony. Something I can't quite put my finger on. I like the build quality of it, but I certainly like the Xiaomi for performance. And there's a lot to like about the operating system too. So it's running MIUI 13, which is based on Android 12. That's a bit disappointing because the phone was released late last year. It's a 12T series, which isn't quite, it's not quite the Xiaomi 12 Pro, but nonetheless, Xiaomi used to be very quick at updating their operating systems. They seem to have fallen by the wayside a little bit. It will obviously get Android 13, which I'm guessing will be MIUI 14, but currently it is on Android 12, and that's what it's shipped with. One thing I noticed immediately about the phone is it's quite aggressively secure. So it's not just relying on Play Protect. And if you look at the independent lab that score these security solutions, you can draw your own conclusions about how effective Play Protect is. But it has a much more aggressive security suite front and center. So whenever you go to install an app, even from the Play Store, it will scan that app and you'll get a little pop-up telling you that the app is secure, and it'll have an open button, have a settings button, so you can control what that security software does. It seems to ship with a vast virus definition files, as far as I've been able to gather, looking at the various privacy policies and stuff you're required to sign up to. So it really is front and center. If you're changing a setting that it doesn't think you should, it's really going to warn you about it. It's not just this might be harmful. You'll get several "Are you sures?" and "This is very bad." Little danger icon. So yeah, it's trying to make sure that you know what you are doing from a security perspective. Whether you like that or not, I guess that's personal preference. I do have third-party security apps on my phone because I don't happen to rate Play Protect particularly highly. I also install a lot of external APKs. So for me, having a third-party security app on my phone is something I tend to do anyway. With the Xiaomi, you don't need to. It's got one built in. It has an under-display fingerprint sensor, which is very snappy, which again functions quite well. And with my phone, as with quite a lot of the Chinese phones, certainly OnePlus do this, you get a free case and you get an inbuilt film screen protector. So not tempered glass. You might want to do something about that. I have one of those folio cases anyway on most of my phones, so I'm not bothered. It's a wallet style, book style case, so the leather cover closes over the screen anyway, so I haven't replaced the film screen protector with tempered glass. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you through the MIUI settings app. I'm not going to go into each settings category, but I'm just going to show you what's there. It is quite different. I like the fact that some of the settings are a little bit more exposed than they are on stock Android. You're not required to delve several levels deep to get to settings you might quite like to access quickly. So let's do that.
1056. Device locked. Fingerprint scanner. Device unlocked. Chrome.
So I'm going to open the settings app.
FODMAP. Settings. 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 Out of list.
And let's see what we've got.
Search. Search settings.
That's fairly typical. You can search for a setting on here as you can on most versions of Android.
About phone. MIUI Global 13.0.11. And list. System apps updater. Security status.
So right at the top there, you'll see it's a little bit different than you would expect on most Android phones. I'm going to keep going.
SIM cards and mobile networks. Wi-Fi. Second stack network 5.
And I like the fact here that Wi-Fi is its own setting. I can't remember where that changed, but it got buried to maybe Android 11, maybe 12. It got taken a level down on stock Android. It's back up here again on the main settings screen.
Bluetooth on. Portable hotspot off.
Portable hotspot. I won't delve into here, but this is quite interesting. Perhaps other phones do this as well, and I've just not noticed. You can decide whether or not it offers Wi-Fi 6, and you can also decide whether it offers a 2.4 gigahertz or a 5 gigahertz connection to your mobile devices.
VPN. Connection and sharing.
And that's where you'll find casting and all the rest of it. I'm going to talk about casting again in a minute.
Always on display and lock screen. Display. Sound and vibration. Notifications and control center. Home screen. Wallpaper. Themes. Passwords and security. Safety and emergency. Privacy protection. Battery. Apps. Additional settings.
Additional settings is where you're going to find your system settings and your language and input and things like that. So it's not called system settings on here. And indeed, additional settings contains other stuff that's not in system settings on stock.
Digital well-being and parental controls. Special features.
Special features is quite interesting. One of the things that made me smile on here is that there is a beautify setting. So if you want to look your best for video calls, you can go in here and beautify yourself. I have no idea what that does, but I think it's quite funny that it exists.
Me account, Green 1981. Google. Accounts and sync. Privacy. Location. Services and feedback.
And that's it. So a lot of what you see on other phones, but also quite a lot of it that's different. What I did find is that it was helpful to install a hidden settings app on MIUI, because some of the things that Xiaomi have done are a little bit strange. So you couldn't cast using Google Cast by default. It uses mirroring, and that was very annoying because my computer keyboard then took over my phone. My phone saw the laptop keyboard as a physical keyboard, meaning, of course, that I wasn't able to control my laptop, which when you're recording demos like this is spectacularly unhelpful. But there is a hidden settings app that I found that is quite good. It enabled me to access the Google Cast settings. The other really weird thing that MIUI does by default is it only lets you schedule one do not disturb session per at all. So if you want to have it do not disturb while you're sleeping, you can't then have event-based schedules or schedules set at other times. I've no idea why anyone thought that was a good idea, but happily, again, with a hidden settings app, you can get back to do not disturb and create as many schedules as you want, and they do all work. A really weird restriction. As I say, I like the fact that Wi-Fi and Bluetooth are easy to get to. I like the customization that Hotspot offers. Perhaps, as I say, perhaps other phones do it and I've just not noticed, but I thought some of that was quite nice. The power menu is good. That has various things you might want to access. So it's got airplane mode and silent mode in your power menu, along with restart and power off. But I'm now going to take you back to one of the security-based sections, and we're going to disable MSA, which is a Xiaomi app, which will basically ping you a lot of annoying ads, but happily we can do something about it. But you are going to want to turn this off. MSA, that's Mike Sierra Alpha. So I'm going to go back to the relevant settings category. I'm going to go in and get rid of it.
Passwords and security. Passwords and security. Back button out of list.
So I've got into passwords and security, and we want to look for something that talks about revocations.
Passwords and security. Screen lock. Screen lock on. Row 1. Fingerprint unlock on. Column 2. Face unlock off. Row 2. Column 1. Unlock with Bluetooth device off. Column 2. Other passwords out of grid. Privacy protection password off. Emergency alerts. Emergency SOS off. Privacy. Authorization and revocation.
Authorization and revocation. This is what we want.
Authorization and revocation. Back button. Authorization and revocation. Granted authorization. Your authorization will be revoked after you toggle switches of individual apps. Enlist. Me video. Ticked. Tick box. Updater. Ticked. Tick box. Security. Ticked. Tick box. MSA. Ticked. Tick box.
MSA, that's what we want. Security is the app I talked about earlier. As I say, it's quite in your face with its security prompts and notifications, but MSA is the one we're going to untick, and you'll see it puts us on a little timer before we're actually allowed to get rid of it. But I'm going to double tap this, and we're going to untick it. So effectively, we're going to revoke its authorization.
Revoking authorization. After you revoke authorization, the app will stop collecting data, and all the related data will be deleted from the servers. This might make the app virtually unusable. Revoke authorization anyway, out of list. Cancel, button. Revoke, zeros, button, disabled. Revoke.
So it had a countdown. You heard it say 0 seconds. That's because I let it read the information it was going to read. Now I can revoke it. The button is no longer grayed out.
Revoking authorization. 0%. Progress bar. Revoke authorization successfully. Settings. Back, button. Authorization and revocation.
So hopefully now we won't get any silly ads from MSA. I'm going to stop there. I will return to MIUI because there are some other interesting features that I haven't touched on. But that just gives you a little flavour of what's in the MIUI settings and some things that have struck me both about the operating system and the phone.